Yo, welcome everybody. I'm just gonna start off by saying, oh shit, hold on. All right, my bad. I had to turn the fucking Bluetooth off. I'm gonna just start this by saying, man, I don't think our ideas are big enough. I know they're not. You know, out of all the people that I personally know in crypto, I can probably count on 2 fingers the people who have ideas that are bigger than the average idea that people get married to, you know. When I think about how we're all, at least a lot of the people that listen to my channel and are in my circle, how we're all in crypto and we have all the right elements. We're at the lead, the front and the lead of technology, you know. We're at all those things. We have all the right elements. And to be fair, I think only one of those 2 people have exceeded even their own expectations. And yet I see them striving for more and more and more in a way that goes outside of the things they find normal or the routine things that maybe got them ahead. And I'm guilty of the opposite, you know. I like most people, I think most of us are just simple creatures. We have these ideas that are embedded in us from birth, you know, from the time we start school. Our parents teach us and tell us, go to school, work hard, blah, blah, blah. At least in Western society. I don't know what's going on elsewhere. You know, go to school, get a higher education, this, that, whatever. A step above that. And it's not for everybody. And there's winners and losers in that too, is entrepreneurship. You know, entrepreneurship and stuff like that. Sorry, my baby girl just texted me. Why the fuck is this dude parking near me? Yeah, man, move, bro. The fuck's wrong with you, man? Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Like, I always, you know what I can't stand? I was just trying to find a quiet place to just do my damn content. It's always somebody, bro. Like, they feel safe near me or something. I don't know these people. Why are you near me, bro? Go away. Anyways, don't you ever hate that? Like back in the day when I used to smoke, you know, because, you know, now it's legal, but it wasn't back in the day. I used to hate, like, if, yo, I want to just light a spliff, a blunt in my terms. I would just go find an empty parking lot, you know, because I was working and shit. So I would go find an empty parking lot, chill, and go, you know, like, okay, this looks like a giant empty spot. You know, I'm not going to bother nobody. The smoke's not going to piss anyone off. Blase, 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 blah. And it's always that one asshole who just pops up on you and decides to park right next to you in a sea of open spaces. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I might be on this shit like, you making me nervous, bro. Because, like, why would you come park to me? It's 500 parking spaces. Nothing but spaces and opportunity, and you pull right up on me. You know, like, you the D's. What's going on? Like, chill out. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry to get off topic. Back to what I was saying. You know, we have bread and butter, you know, the thing that kind of gets you on and gets you comfortable in life. It's very hard to break the routine of that shit, man. Like, every time you feel just a little bit pressured, you tend to go with what you know, with what you know. And I think that's been going on for decades, okay? The people who excel and exceed are the thinkers, the people who have an idea that is way bigger than something. Like, the first reaction you should get to your ambition is, man, you can't do that, because the person that's saying that would never dare to dream, you know, and not just dream, but execute. Execution is a thing. And just because you failed or you're struggling, like, people will try to hold that against you. It's like people who've gotten on YouTube, you know, like, I noticed this. I saw for some reason, this dude, Moist Critical, he like, you know, I like him. My kids watch him and shit. So from time to time, I'm seeing his content, and he has such a following, and God bless him. He's living a great life, and it really pisses me off that he can't help but be spicy in a sense. Like, meaning he has to just take his time to intentionally make content shitting on people who get into shit, or like YouTubers who become shamed or embarrassed. I can't stand that shit, man. And there's this one guy, he's like this big Minecraft YouTuber. He was pissy drunk. He got he was visiting his friend or something, and he got hella drunk. So I think he was walking home, but bro just passed out on the way. So the police pulled up on him. He's in a very affluent neighborhood. So of course people like, yo, bro's laid out on the corner of not over here. We don't do that here. So them boys roll up, and and the thing is, what was shocking to me is not that this could happen, because it's like bro's heavily successful. He's been a super large Minecraft YouTuber for a while, and he's kind of like, his channel kind of fell off, but he already made it, right? So he's just chilling, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro gets drunk now. Like, who gives a shit? He's an adult now. He went from being a kid, made more money than he probably ever thought he'd make, and he's enjoying himself, right? So point is, though, the you catch the people, the officers that are there, they kind of know who he is, and they realize he's a YouTuber, and they just have such utter disdain for him, and that's how most people are. So like, if you ever tell someone that you're like building or doing something for YouTube, their first inclination is to just like hate on you. Not only that, because they're stuck in their way of like, I need to go to work, and that's the only way you're gonna, you kids think you're gonna make your living off of making content and stuff like that. And you know what? The people who dare to think that they could do that, they're the ones doing it. And they're living these beautiful lives, in contrast to people who get up every fucking day and break their minds and bodies doing work, and it's a way to exist. And it's ingrained and embedded, it's like beat into our subconscious and conscious every day from the time we start school. That all school is training for obedience, training for a 9-to-5 routine where you go to work and you make your money, and someone gives you a quarterly review, a report card, and you may or may not get a raise and stuff like that. But the people who break out of the mold, the Elon Musk, the robber barons, if you've ever went to college and studied American history, 1865 to present, very great lessons in there. I thought it was going to be the dumbest class I've ever taken. I'm like, why the fuck do I need to know all this stuff? But what I got from it was the robber barons, they're very different. They were the people that took the things that we take for granted every day and found opportunity in them and moved the country forward. You had the Rockefeller with the oil. I can't remember exactly. I mean, bro, I'm like, it's been a while, right? But Henry Ford with the assembly line and financing of cars. I mean, that's the fundamental basis for our automobile economy today. That was so long ago. There were companies that made cars. He was the first person to start to mass produce and finance them so that more people could have access to them. And that's why Ford is what it is today. And every other company that's been built that competes with them is off that model. You know what I'm saying? So he's a robber baron. He took, I can make an automobile. And if you have enough money, you can buy it outright. But most people didn't have that. So they found a way to make it where a person could, hey man, I just pulled up in my new Ford. I only got to pay $3 a week, or $3, $7, $10, $20 a month, depending on how much they made back then. You get what I'm saying? But these are the people that think outside the box. Everybody was pumping oil, but the refining of oils, I believe that was one of the Rockefellers. He was an oil man, and he made all these different products and things possible from oil, where people were just wholly engaged in just finding and producing and acquiring and selling raw oil. He found a way to refine it and break it down to make different products. A lot of different ones that we take for granted today again too. So But I think in crypto generally, like especially with all the people that I know, you know, we know, you can only count on two fingers how many people went outside the box. And I'm not talking about people you know of. I'm talking about, well, I know of. I'm talking about people that I know. One of them took an existing idea and really ran with it, and he was the only close second. And now he's trying to come outside of that and bring it together into a bigger thing, and that's great. And then my other homie, he's done what everyone else has done, but he think outside the box of that. And like, okay, we're going to add this. And now I'm no longer this title. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a trader. I'm an entrepreneur. And this is the thing, like, you know, when I speak to people about him, I'm like, you know, like, yo, bro, it's, you know, rubbing shoulders with people that's like, you kind of wouldn't believe that we all were here together at the same place. This is a person that has a great vision for themselves and is executing it, you know, and that's a great person to know, just to be able to know, like, and periodically I can speak to him on a regular, you know, in a regular way. Not like, hey, man, leave a number. What the fuck is your comment? Send me an email I never read or my staff will read. Like, nah, it's a personal friend. That's crazy, you know, how gifted and blessed I am to even be in that position to say that, right? Because that person can probably help me understand or motivate or encourage me outside of the fucking prison that I've placed myself in terms of that. And I've been thinking about it for a while. And like I said, for decades, our country is just really programmed to just do what has already been done. And your whatever your bread and butter is, that's why like lifestyles and certain types of activities and ways of life are passed down from generation to generation because we embed those things that keep us safe to our children. And my dad's big thing was work. Like he was a workaholic. And I thought I didn't really follow in that path, right? Because his answer to any and everything was just work. And if it wasn't working, work harder. And this sometimes can feel like, especially with the way the economy has kind of turned in the last 5 years, like banging your head on a wall. And that's not working harder. That's working, and you know, that's not working, you know, that's not working smarter. That's working harder. Okay. And forgive me for fumbling that, but I think you get what I'm saying. I didn't think that I took that trait from my father because I really, when I was coming up in school, I was a whiz kid, right? Like I was one of them kids, I went to all these special programs. They kept sending me to like gifted places and like they would constantly place me, you know, in all my testing. I was in the top percentile of the country of all the kids being measured, like standard tests and stuff. And you know, my schools would celebrate me. I was going to be valedictorian of my class ahead of me because I was graduating early. And I was really, like, I could have done so much better, but I really hated homework assignments because I thought they were a giant waste of time. So, but anyways, they, you know, my grades would vary because how much homework was weighted, and I just refused to do it. And I had a lot of deals with a lot of teachers where they're like, listen, as long as you keep testing out like this, you don't have to do homework. Don't worry about it. You know, and it was good. So I'm very intelligent, right? But I would say you wouldn't know that from the last few years of my life. I might look like the biggest jackass there is on the planet. And I'm like, yo, because again, once I started to not feel safe and I could feel the heat and pressure of the economy turning and my finances tightening, I fell back to the thing that I didn't realize my father like embedded in me and instilled in me, which is a good thing to have. Like you should always work hard at whatever it is you're doing, but you should also have the wisdom to understand that there's a better way, or you're doing too much and really doing nothing, you know. And in the hood, they call that doing the most, but not doing nothing at all. You ain't doing shit, but you stay doing the most. And that's how I feel sometimes. And I feel like on a broader level, some of the people that I know have the resources and the potential to go further and greater than they are, it's easy to see because you're on the outside looking in, you're emotionally unattached. And that's how I feel like sometimes when my homie's looking at me, he's thinking, damn, like, what's going on with you? Because, like, his mental vision in me is, like, up there. Why do you think we could even be on speaking terms, considering how far he's gone up and how low I have remained? You know, but he sees me as that. And that's like, you know, that's like, damn, that's dope. That's motivating, right? But, you know, until I'm truly ready in myself to recognize my mistake and make a change, then nothing changes. So generally, I had this thing come up, and it's been on my mind for a couple months, probably way longer than that. But it's bigger. And likewise, my other friend who I know is taking that thing and ran, I know that he's on a path and a plane where, like, it's cool and it's going to go forward, but I think it's going to take a little more than just our understanding of what's possible and some more intentional action to make it what it could and should be, and make it operate in the way, like a missing ingredient. Like, yo, this shit is great, but you know, it's just something missing. And we've all been there. We've had the experience of this previous iteration, blah, blah, blah. Those who need to know what I'm talking about and what I mean by that, they'll know because they listen to these videos and they're well aware. Okay. But there's a missing ingredient. And I won't say it here, but eventually the conversations, I think, are coming where they'll be presented with the bigger idea, the more feasible idea, where we all have the tools that are necessary. Like it's like providence, like all these different pieces of the puzzle to a greater, bigger idea, and the elements needed for them to, like, come together and be a success are all there. Like, all the stupid shit happening with me, all the development going on over there, all the success that has happened on the other hand with my other friend. And once you put all these elements together, you can probably have the potential for something bigger than any and everything all of us are doing combined. Like major stock index. Like, yo, that's me, that's you, that's us. Crazy. But it only seems crazy because you're looking up at the tickers and none of them are yours yet. But this is totally doable. You know, and it's like, it's not totally doable. It's like, it's a choice. Our ideas aren't big enough, you know? And it's like, well, we can strive for one thing, and we really mentally, like, the most difficult things to do have been accomplished, you know? And I fight the most difficult things I could do and accomplish them. Like the circumstances even that I could say I've been up against for forever now. And it took me so long to reach out and say, yo, something's wrong. Like, that's a testament to like, seriously, how much I fought so hard before you ever heard from me in a way that was unusual or abnormal in the way that I would ever communicate to someone close to me. That's like, damn. It might be like, yo, like, I'm surprised by this, but, like, also it took you this long. Like, damn, I didn't know. So, like, you must have been going through some shit. And, like, it had to be it. I don't know if I could have did that, but I did it until the point where you became aware of it, or not really, kind of aware of it, that even though I'm doing all that and overcoming all this and all that, now you know about it. You know, now you get to the point where you see I'm not anymore, you know. As I can't fight the universe sometimes. And sometimes like it's just your hard work and constant drive to just go work it's not going to cut it. And I'm not the only one, which is shocking. That means we have a strong country full of people that have been ingrained the same way, and we're all sitting here collectively scratching our heads like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Because things aren't supposed to be this way. We're just caught in a generation of massive upheaval economically that is disrupting us. And it's a shit economy, a fucking pandemic, and an AI wave, and a lot of motherfuckers are out of work. And the ones who are left at work, because all that economic energy is now being lost, it's harder for the entrepreneur to get ahead because motherfuckers don't have expendable income to buy your product or your service, and you excel the way you were before a pandemic destroyed everything, before we have an economic downturn and all these types of things. It's really mind-boggling, but it's the truth. It's not a scapegoat kind of conversation. It's like, we need to properly put reality into context. Because it's really easy in some way. You see people failing to like point a finger and say, man, you're just a dickhead, or you're stupid, and or you're just a fuck up, or maybe you don't like to work, or like, well, how could all this be happening if you work so much and work so hard? Well, it's everybody now. More and more people is like not in denial, and everybody knows it, even the people who are ahead. Just because they're not getting pressed too hard, they notice. When they like, yo, like I got it. I ain't really stressing it. Like it ain't gonna kill me, but damn, like shit is getting pricey. Shit is different out here. Like if you a little over lunch money or a lot over lunch money, you might not be like feeling any pressure or danger. But you do notice. Like it even boggled the mind of somebody I know is super wealthy and doesn't have to give a shit. But he's even surprised, like, how in the fuck do you have a $2,000 motherfucking truck mortgage? That's wild. Like, mortgage. See, it's a mortgage. Like, you got a mortgage payment as a car payment. And it's like, how in the fuck? Like, I financed a car 10 years ago. I financed a car fucking maybe 8 years before that. Fucking 3 years, couple $100. Like, what are we doing? Like, these are fucking mortgage payments for a third of the fucking time. These are car finance agreements that are running for damn near a third with a down payment. 8 years, 10 years, a third of a fucking mortgage, half of a 15-year mortgage. Like, this math ain't mathing, homies. So, it's like, I don't know who the fuck could commit to that. Like, what jobs do you have how much does it, if you're fucking, listen, man, when I financed the car in 2016, which, is at that time, nice car, 20 something grand, $42,000 with interest. Okay. Over fucking 4 years. Okay. The payments was like 4 something, but the fucking insurance was, that's why you can't have the fucking shit be 8 years. You got to have full coverage as long as you don't have, if you don't own the car outright. If you got a lien holder or a co-title owner, like the finance company or whatever, God bless you and your good credit, you have to have full coverage. Full coverage on a $20-something thousand car is fucking $400 or $500 a month. Well, at least for us it was. I can only imagine what it's like for a $20,000 truck. Like, what? So shit's all over the place. I think everyone's aware, even if they're not like really getting the squeeze or suffering from it directly. It's indirectly too, because I can imagine how the people who are ahead and have good relationships with people are being overwhelmed by like, yo, dog, I'm out here hurting. But it's real, not everybody. Some people have some outs where they can go be with people and reduce their overhead and all this type of shit. That shit is out. You feel me? Like, it's like and forgive the pings. It's like I can't stop it from happening. But like I said, our ideas are not big enough. And when I consider that we're at the lead of here, break your head mentally. Let's think about which cryptos are going to offer the best returns. That used to be a really simple proposition 2 bull runs ago. And it kind of still is now, but if you're trying to maximize gains, the old meta from even a bull run ago is not the way, much less 2 bull runs ago. And, whatever was the bread and butter of last bull run is not the bread and butter of this bull run, and certainly not 2 bull runs ago. So you constantly doing mental gymnastics to figure out what's the proper way to maximize your gains. And this is what I'm saying from a technological standpoint. You have to think a lot. A lot of us have technical abilities and constantly working on new ones. So you're at the forefront of like all these different little fields, but no execution except for in crypto. I've only seen one example of somebody step offline and really make themselves larger than life in this sense. It's really highly misunderstood by people who don't know, and I don't need to like throw you in that direction. I just know what I know, right? And I'm like, damn, like, yeah. I think this is one of the biggest fuck ups of my time was when I did get into crypto. It was so entertaining and I was so comfortable financially that I gave it a lot of my mental space. And I thought it could and should have, and it should have, but I wouldn't be alone to say it didn't end up financially windfalling my life. And I think I'm even my homeboy who's way ahead of the game and overachieved beyond, our wildest dreams, or mine at least for sure. And I'm glad to see it. I think even he understands that, or I've come to notice that he even understands like, yeah, you can do it, but like the real security and growth that I'm seeing is of my own action. And it's really a concept that predates crypto. So it's like, and now the bread and butter is something that is not even crypto related or not real bread and butter, just like the ease of like, man, who the fuck wants to think so hard? This shit is too easy. And y'all over here trying to figure out which altcoin is going to pop. But this is like too easy, and it's like, damn. And that's the mistake of my placing so much emphasis and attention on the idea that crypto could sustain it. It could have back then, but with the way the world has changed in the economy now, that's a squeeze. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. Like when I'm 8-10 years ago, when I'm first getting into crypto in a serious way, my life is easy. My life is cheap and I'm comfortable and I don't feel poor or I'm out of place in life, or I need anything. So my idea of what I need is very different than what it is in this new post-COVID fuck-up economy that we have now. The numbers don't add up. Nothing is what you thought it would be. And I mean, it's kind of common sense, but I think it's a bit exaggerated now in terms of how fast things have changed and how extreme it actually is versus how people downplay it. Dude, we have a president right now. It's like, excuse me, we have a president right now that keeps coming online and saying, well, there's no inflation. Like, bro, what is you talking about? Like, I was just talking with my kid about something and I was, no, my wife. Cause she was like, look, we're getting some food cause we're about to have a disaster storm. And I'm fucking like, I don't have that much money. And I don't know if I hope the power and shit don't go out because I don't know what the fuck, I'm under pressure here, right? But the whole Northeast is now, and I mean, I went to the store today too. mistake. There's nothing there. It's like the pandemic happened. It's just fucking nuts. And I see, and I'm listening to people, and they're like, they're discussing with themselves, like one of the only things left in the fucking in the freezer section was like this lone bag of meatballs, and it was a family, and it was like a dude, a wife, and his kid, and then they had one in the basket too, and they're like trying to get anything they could because they, everybody's woefully unprepared for a disaster happening potentially. And they're in the store and there's literally nothing to buy. So they're like, well, shit, it's a bag of fucking instant meatballs. Not instant, but like, you can put them in the oven or a microwave. And they like pause and look at it and they're like, well, we can have meatballs. And collectively they're like, nah, we don't, what the fuck? They didn't want it. But they had to sit there and contemplate it. It's like, okay, we could have that, like, because we need to get something. And it's like, damn, I'm sitting there, I'm like, fuck, like, this shit is real. Like, whatever's about to happen, motherfuckers thinking like somebody knows something I don't. But anyways, the other day I'm riding with my wife and she says, we passed by a ShopRite, and she's like, now I was like, she's like, I want to go in the ShopRite and get the can sale. I'm like, man, what the fuck we look like? Because the fucking can. I said, what's the can sale, honey? And she says that they're $1 a can for whatever the fuck you're getting, can sale. And I'm like, yo, that shit immediately took me to my childhood, because my mom and like everybody around me, they used to go to the store and be like, yo, it'd be a ShopRite can sale. But the fucking shit was 10 cents. And I wasn't like a kid, like I'm like 10 years old, maybe even older. I think that lasted into my middle school years. And it's like, ShopRite can. The can sale is fucking 10 cans for $1. And the motherfuckers were twice the size of what they are now. So if you really think about it, if the fucking sale price is now $1 per can, and the can is half the size it would, I said, damn, babe, the problem is we need, like, for our family, we need like 3-4 cans of this shit. My mom would use them bitches, and we didn't need to open 4 fucking cans of whatever vegetable or fruit or whatever the fuck you're getting out the can to feed everybody in the house. My family was the same size it is now, then. You know what I'm saying? Me, my 2 sisters, my mom and dad, 5 people. You see what I'm saying? Like, and my grandma, you know what I mean? Like, my stepdad's mom, we used to all eat together. Like, and it's like, the fuck? Like, we might open up 2 cans at best, and there would be leftovers, motherfucker. Like, and it was like, yo, food that went up 20x in the blink of a fucking eye. But you're like, no. Like, it's nuts. I don't even know why the fuck I said this. But like I said, everything's different. But like, anyways, I think we're at a different time in life, man. And your ideas need to be executed. But like, you could execute on a small thing. And I think I've seen that relatively over and over. I even do it. But it needs to outpace whatever is happening in our lives or in the economy, or it's a fucking waste of time. And I can attest to that, because I've done something, but it's not really, it might get me by, but not get me forward. And it doesn't allow for emergencies, which are like a given, right? Like, so given that we're all at the forefront of all things and skill sets, and we're in crypto, and we're at the lead in front of technology, like, what are we doing then? We're like willfully walking away from the things that would be life-changing for real, even for the peoples whose lives have really changed already. And that's like, shit, I gotta work on that. Anyways, I talked too long. I can't believe this shit, 35 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it all. And this is brought to you by the major winter storm that is coming upon us. 1/2 inch to 1 inch of ice. They're predicting 100-year-old trees can snap very easily with the temperature and the weight of an inch of ice. It's going to be freezing rain after a foot of snow, potentially. We were supposed to get 2 feet of snow, around 20 inches, but that forecast has changed to 6 to 10 inches, locally higher amounts, followed by a half to a whole inch of fucking ice. So I'm praying the fire, like, I wish I had a fireplace, because the power might go out and it's gonna be blistering cold for like forever. So I'm not in panic mode. This is just let me know how willfully and woefully unprepared not only myself but everyone is for disaster. But I have a family and kids that I love very much, and I very much need to do better. I want to get the fuck out of the way, and I don't ever want them to be concerned or worried about money, life, security, peace, comfort, all those things. And so it's time to be smarter and work smarter, not harder, because I lack no hard work ethic. It's like the shit should be a sin, bro, to do what I've been doing for the amount of time and effort that I've been giving. It should be a sin. It really should be. It is. Oh, see? God said on the 7th day rest. That's why I'm suffering, because like I can't even obey that. The economics of life won't allow it. So I can't even pray to the Lord, and like, he'd be like, I got you, bro. The Lord has me, but he's probably not happy. That's wild. I'm out.